Also making headlines today is Mitch McConnell to blame for so many ambassador positions not being filled. That's the conclusion of Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chairman Bob Corker. Here to help us explain why one Republican is blaming the Republican leader for that holdup is White House correspondent and Newsmax's chief political columnist John Gizzi, who joins us live from our Washington, D.C. studio. John, you wrote an article for Newsmax.com. You report that Senator Bob Corker is suggesting that many of President Trump's ambassador appointments are not getting confirmed because Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, frankly, isn't making them a priority. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, I had a very interesting press breakfast with Senator Corker, the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and asked him point blank, why are more than 100 ambassadorial appointments stalled, notably the very pivotal appointment as ambassador to Germany, not to mention in our own hemisphere, the ambassador to the Dominican Republic, stalled since November. He said simply because Mitch McConnell is focusing more on judicial appointments, which have a lifetime tenure, as opposed to ambassadors who disappear at the end of a president's term. Hence, the majority leader will not move on most of the key ambassadorial appointments for a while now.
For a while. So what are we talking about? Weeks, months?
Probably weeks. And again, this is a problem. I keep going back to Germany. I was at the International Monetary Fund meeting this morning talking to a colleague from Germany, and he said the vacancy in Berlin at the U.S. Embassy, the lack of an ambassador for 6 months now, and probably for another 2, is going to be discussed when Chancellor Merkel visits the president next week. This is starting to mushroom and metastasize into some major problems for the administration on the diplomatic front.
And we're going to continue to talk about this throughout America Talks Live. But real quickly, I want to switch gears if we can and talk about this dust-up between Nikki Haley and economic advisor Larry Kudlow. On Monday, the UN ambassador announced that the U.S. was formalizing new sanctions against Russia, but the White House delayed implementing those sanctions. And then on Tuesday, Kudlow praised Haley but said she might have been a little confused and that additional sanctions are under consideration but haven't been put in place yet. However, Haley pushed back, telling Fox's Dana Perino that with all due respect, I don't get confused. And now Kudlow has backed down a little bit. A White House official says Kudlow actually called Haley Tuesday to apologize and kind of mend those fences, if you will. But the flap, as you probably know, has this rumor mill going, John. A former White House official told The Hill that Haley clearly wants a higher office and will do just anything to keep rising, and even if that means throwing the president and his administration under the bus. There's also been other reports.
Absolutely not. Yeah,
and that's what I want to ask you. So there are all these reports going. We're running out of time, but real quickly, any truth behind these rumors at all, or is it, has the dust settled?
No, and remember, having known and covered both Mr. Kudlow and Ambassador Haley for several years, I can tell you, he made a mistake and owned up to it. She, in turn, got the better of the deal and did it in one sentence, which is a rare ability in politics these days. Will she go anywhere? No. She is one of the superstars of the administration, the Lady Gaga of the diplomatic circle, and I can tell you that she may rise to other things. She may stay where she is, but very much like George H.W. Bush, Daniel Patrick Moynihan, Jeane Kirkpatrick, and other people we've sent to the UN, she's a star and she's staying.
Lady Gaga. Okay, haven't heard that comparison. I guess maybe you're a fan. So real quickly, we only have about a minute remaining. Want to talk about Mike Pompeo. The Senate will vote whether or not to confirm him as Secretary of State, as you know, on Monday. However, President Trump says he's not too worried. Here's what he had to say.
I think Mike Pompeo will go down as one of the great Secretary of States. And by the way, he just left North Korea, had a great meeting with Kim Jong-un, and got along with him really well, really great. And he's that kind of a guy. He's very smart, but he gets along with people.
Real quickly, should the president worry?
No, not at all. And in fact, when I spoke to Senator Corker yesterday morning, he gave a glowing report about Mike Pompeo's testimony before the Foreign Relations Committee, how it impressed people. He gave him high marks for changing and improving the culture at the CIA and said that he would be an improvement at the State Department, particularly in the personnel area. Secretary Tillerson, according to the senator, gave up on filling key positions at one point. Mike Pompeo will not. I say he's an easy confirmation.
All right, John Gizzi, as always, great to have you, and you can read more about John Gizzi's article by going to Newsmax.com, where he talks about Senator Bob Corker placing the blame on Mitch McConnell for not filling those ambassador appointee positions. Good to have you.
Newsmax TV. Watch us on Dish, DirecTV, AT&T Uverse, Verizon Fios, or download our free app. Don't have Newsmax TV? Call your local cable provider and request Newsmax today.